happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. I had to bring out the green. I mean, you know, I gotta celebrate. Gotta celebrate St. Patrick's Day. One, I'm in Boston. Two, I happen to be partially Irish. So today I'm going to do a video that I've been asked to do for actually quite some time, and I don't think I've actually ever done it. Today is the video where I get asked a lot, like, okay, Jennifer, there's lots of products that you like, there's lots of products that you love, but what do you use when you're like, okay, these are the best of the best luxury items. These are the things that if you're going to do an important meeting or you have to go to, you know, an event and you don't have a lot of time to figure out exactly what you're going to pick out, what automatically comes to mind? What are the products that, frankly, if you lost everything, you would repurchase? It's very tough for me to actually do that, like in my head, figure out exactly what I would buy, because there are a lot of products that I love, and many of the products that I love, frankly, no longer exist. So let's say, like, for the Chanel old blushes, I can't buy those anymore. The Tom Ford bronzer, Terra, the iteration that I had doesn't exist anymore. So I guess what I've decided to do is, what are the things that, like, right now, if a client, if I was, you know, doing my makeup artist job like I did way back in the day, if they came to me and said, I want to put together a collection of the best luxury items that are out there that'll make me feel my best, and I just want one of each, one eyeshadow, one bronzer, and I could pick from practically anything, what would I buy? That's basically, you know, out in the ether today. So these are products that aren't discontinued. These are products that you can buy. And I would be like, yes, this will be a great start to your kit, the great start to your collection. I'll go through them relatively quickly so you guys can see it and then the final look, but I'll talk about why these products are so good. And so honestly, I think the word is reliable to me and worth buying. And I would also say some of these products I would buy if you've watched me for any time. And if you haven't, hi, my name is Jennifer and I was a makeup artist for Chanel half a lifetime ago. Here on my channel, we do all things luxury. Beauty, skincare, jewelry, ready to wear, it runs the gamut. And I would love it if you would go down below and hit that subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss any of the fun here on the channel. It also helps the channel grow, and I greatly appreciate all of you who have subscribed to the channel or to memberships. It's just been absolutely lovely to get to know more and more new people every day. So for me, you know, on my channel, I never say, and in fact, there's going to be a fun video coming up with other content creators that I'm coordinating. Stay tuned for that, about what you need and what you don't need. You don't need anything. But if I were to say products that, you know, you need, these would be them. But I'd also say you might want to consider buying some of these things now. I, in a former life, up until 3 months ago, was a lobbyist. I worked in advocacy in Washington, D.C. I did that for 30 years. And as we all know, if you're reading the news, there's some uncertainty in supply chain. There has been for a while, but now it's even worse. With the things that are going on, a lot of these products are from overseas. A lot of these products are they're not created by a US brand. They are created by a European brand. And I think the prices are likely to go up. So even if there's not a sale necessarily, like I said, I never tell you, you know, you must buy. I never say that. But I want to make everyone aware that I think there's a strong possibility that the prices that are coming from overseas are going to increase. So even if they're made in the US, even if they're technically made here in the United States, and again, I'm in the US, the brands are not. So if it's, say, Clé de Peau, or if it's Swede, or if it's Lisa Eldridge, Chanel, I really would, if there's favorites, I would buy them. If there's a sale, I would definitely do it. If there's like something that you know, it's like a holy grail product for you and you use it every day, I would consider buying them earlier in the year than later. just my 2 cents. Feel free to ignore. This is advice based on my, makeup artist, my makeup artist experience, and these products being great, and also my advocacy working in Washington, D.C. for literally 30 years. I would just strongly encourage folks who are in the United States to consider buying products that they use all the time sooner rather than later if you're concerned about pricing. That's enough of that. Let's get to the fun stuff. Okay, so there's a couple of skincare things that I would really strongly recommend that I think are absolutely worth buying, just regardless of timing. Again, if there's a sale, take advantage of the sale. The In Beauty Calm the Red Down, the In Beauty Extreme Cream. This is what I've been using as my moisturizer for the last couple weeks. Many of you have commented on my skin. Thank you so much. And how good it looks. Those 2 products. Just telling you. Again, they haven't, In Beauty's not paying me to say that. They did send me the products, but they're not paying me to say that. Really good. In Beauty has been probably the sweet beauty of this year. If you don't know what that means, last year or the year before, I learned about Sweet Beauty, and it's one of their products is going to be in this video. Honestly, the In Beauty brand is the brand for this year. It's amazing. Their skincare is amazing. So pick up In Beauty stuff. Totally worth it. Seriously. The Clé de Peau, this is the softening cleansing foam. I always have difficulty with cleansing foams because they dry out my skin. This one does not. This is a great product. Clé de Peau is one of my favorite brands of all time. I talk about it incessantly. If you want to, just ignore me, that's fine. It's one of the few products out there, brand products, where I'm yeah, that's actually worth the price point. It's that good. The Clé de Peau emulsion. I've heard people say, oh, it's got ingredient. Whatever. This stuff's amazing. Technically, this is meant to be an overnight moisturizer. You're supposed to put it on. It's kind of for oily skin. I put it all over my face as a first step in a primer, and it makes my skin look amazing. Unlike some of the products from Sarah Creole, Merit, Guerlain, which are all amazing. They're like watery oils. This is an emulsion. This is a, what is the best word? Skincare product that is a moisturizer, okay? I use it as a primer because that works for me because I have dry skin. If you're somebody who has dry skin, oily skin, whatever, I think this will work for you. It will not be moisturizing enough for a dry skin person as an overnight, my opinion, but it's perfect for a primer. The watery oils, it will depend on whether you have dry skin, oily skin, whatever. Different ones will be for different people. But this emulsion, I honestly think works for everybody. I have very dry skin, use it as a primer. I think oily people will love it as a overnight moisturizer or a daytime moisturizer. You cannot go wrong with that emulsion. It's the best product. I love it. Amazing. Seriously, okay? It's that good. And then the Clé de Peau eye cream. I get asked a lot of questions about eye cream. I'm trying out a few new ones right now, including the In Beauty one, which I'll have an update on. I'm not going to use anything on my lids because the In Beauty one is the one I'm using on my lids to test it out. But I'm going to use the Clé de Peau one underneath my eyes. And the thing about the Clé de Peau moisturizer, it is the eye moisturizer. It is ridiculously expensive. It is a fortune. I've had this one for a while and I still haven't gotten through very much of it because I don't use a ton. You don't need a ton. But the one thing that's great about, well, there's lots of things that are great about this moisturizer, but you just use a little bit. You basically rub it in, not too much because you don't want to rub around your eyes. But I don't ever have any irritation from it. It doesn't irritate my eyes. I don't get little milia from it. It's moisturizing, but not sticky. It's hard to find a good moisturizer that always works when you're somebody who has sensitive skin, lots of allergies. I have problems with my eyes all the time. I had a little sty on my eye the other day. I have no idea why I had it. I finally got it to go away, hot compresses and a bunch of other things. But my point is when you have things like that, I try all different kinds of eye moisturizers and foundations and so I'm trying different things all the time. There's very few that I know very few products that I know I can go back to and go, I can use that. That won't bother me. The Clé de Peau. Okay. Like I said, I am trying the In Beauty on the lids, so I'm not putting anything on the lids today. But guys, it's that good. Those products are that good. They are worth it. Buy them. Again, you know, buy them, don't buy them. But I'm telling you, these are products that I've been using for the longest time, and I try a lot of makeup. And if I don't talk about it, it probably means it's really not worth it. But if I go out of my way to talk about it, I really want you to get good products. This is the Moravisa Mist, which I use at the beginning and the end. Amazing. Moravisa is also another brand that's just absolutely fantastic. And those are the things that I'd be like, okay, you know, this is important. Skin prep is important. If somebody tells you that skin prep is not important, they're either a teenager. No, actually, even when you're a teenager, you need good skin prep. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's very important to remember that your makeup is only going to look as good as your skin looks underneath. If your skin isn't prepped for the makeup, it is not going to look good unless you're one of those like miracle people who just has perfect skin. And if you do, please let me know if you've done something to like get it that way. I wish, because you know, I've never had that. But I mean, I was a makeup artist for a while, and I always prepped people's skin, and they always left going, oh my, you know, I look so good. Your makeup skills are so, I was like, it's not my makeup skills. I mean, thank you, but it's because I prepped your skin. And if you ever go to Chanel, and hopefully you guys will, if the ones in the Boston area will meet me for the Chanel meetup, I'm going to do it. I have a date, April 27th. I know it's longer away than I hoped, but it's hard to coordinate things, guys. April 27th, I'll post about it. They will all prep your skin. You go to any good makeup artist and they'll prep your skin. I promise you. So you let that sink in. That's why I was chatting away. And try not to put the makeup on immediately. If you're in a rush, okay, and like you don't have time to like fully prep your skin, two things. Make sure you exfoliate with something like in the morning, whether it's chemical exfoliator or physical exfoliator, depending on, you know, what your skin is like, and put on something like this emulsion. I recommend this, but do something, because even if you just do those two things, it will make the biggest difference. Promise. All right. So make sure your eyebrows make sure you have a good eyebrow. That's all I'll say. My favorite one right now is the Refi one. So I'm going to fill my brows in just a little bit, and then we'll get to the makeup. If you're looking for a brow pencil that will work like really quickly, you don't want to spend like time drawing on strokes and, you know, Jones Road. Jones Road has a really good pencil. It's like a thick pencil, and you can just kind of go voom, voom and be done. And, you know, it gives you a pretty good look if you're like in a hurry. Trust me, I get it. There are days that I have like a 5-minute look. I have a 2-minute look. This is more of a, I have time, I have an event, I need to look good. What do I do? First thing, make sure your brushes are clean. Seriously. Even if you're just using your own skin. Oh, if you're not using brushes on anybody else, it's important. Make sure your brushes are clean. It will make a difference. This is the Lisa Eldridge. This is the Lisa Eldridge Enhancing Tint. Now, this is not for anybody who wants full coverage. You want full coverage? This is not going to do it. If you want something that's, you know, more full coverage and a holy grail, it's the Chanel Touch. For me. If you want something that's full coverage, Prada. Well, it's not really full coverage. It's medium coverage, but it's Prada. Now, the Prada foundation is a matte, but you know, if you don't like that, if it's too matte, mix in a glowing product with it. Mix in like the Chanel Luminizer, mix in the Sarah Creel, what is it called? The Moisture Source, mix in the Merit product. There's so many. I've talked about them. And if you want, specific recommendations for yourself, if you join membership, I can do that for you. Okay, so like I said, Lisa Eldridge, just amazing. It's an amazing product. It gives you more coverage than you think, because what it really does is it kind of blurs your skin, but it like, I don't know how it works, but it really just gets rid of the look of your imperfections. It doesn't get rid of your imperfections, or at least it doesn't get rid of mine, but it gets rid of the look of them. However, if you have imperfections that you don't like, because I do, like little red spots, or you feel like there's something on your skin that you want to cover up, the best concealer that exists, again, my opinion, is Clé de Peau. You notice the thing about Clé de Peau. Anytime there's like skin involved, it's Clé de Peau. So the Clé de Peau stick. I get it in ivory. I use my finger. A lot of people use a brush. It really just depends on what you like to do. I use it like right here on my chin. There's a little bit of redness. Covers it completely. Sometimes I use it around my nose when the veins pop out a little bit more than I'd like. And if you have like a little bit of, you know, blue or yellow or something like that you need to conceal in like the corners of your eyes, Clé de Peau concealer. I cannot tell you how long I've been using that, but I can tell you this. It has been more than 10 years because I moved back to Massachusetts 10 years ago and I was using it long before that. It looked different then. It was a different stick. The Clé de Peau stick is one of the best concealer sticks on the market ever. And if I had nothing left, I would buy it immediately. If you like an eye brightener, not the same thing. And that's usually what I use. I usually use an eye brightener, but I have a lot of questions about concealer. I get asked all the time, what's your favorite concealer? And I always have to say, hey, I don't really use concealer because I don't. But when I do, it's the Clé de Peau. I have a Clé de Peau stick in my purse and I have a Clé de Peau stick in my desk. The reason I do that is because like if I'm out and about during the day and like a pimple pops up or something happens, the Clé de Peau one will cover it. It will make the skin look good, but it doesn't look cakey, doesn't look dry, blends right in. Ivory's the perfect shade for me. All right, bronzer. This is the Tom Ford Terra bronzer. Now I'm cheating a little bit with this one because technically this particular version, this iteration of the Tom Ford bronzer no longer exists. But I'm using this one up, guys, because I am going to completely pan this in 2025. It was a personal goal of mine to finally, which is sad because I will be very sad to see it go. But it's, you know, I've had it for a very long time. So this is going to go bye-bye. But the new version of the Tom Ford bronzer is still excellent. The difference is it is not as pigmented and it's a little warmer, actually. Now, again, it's not this one. It's not my favorite. You know, my favorite version is this, but they changed it. And I'm going to guess it had something to do with supply chain again and ingredients and all that good stuff. But I promise you, you will not be disappointed in the Tom Ford bronzer, even the new version, if you're somebody who likes a cool tone bronzer. It is extremely good. It works on everybody. I've never seen anybody that it looks bad on, except if you have like if you have a very warm undertone, it might not work. But other than that, it looks great. If you do have a very warm undertone, Tom Ford does have Gold Dust, which is a much warmer bronzer, which, you know, some people do like because they want that warm gold dust kind of look. I don't particularly, I mean, I can wear it, but it's not really my thing because it's too bronzy. But if you like that, it's still an excellent formula. Like I said, Tom Ford bronzer, it's just, it's the best. It is. And I've tried a lot of bronzers. So many. Talking about Tom Ford liner. This is in Irresistible. I think this is probably the most neutral shade. And, you know, interesting thing about these Tom Ford bronzers is I think I get the most comments about people saying, I learned to trust your opinion or I learned to trust your suggestions because of the Tom Ford liner. And if you're not familiar with what that refers to, when these came out, I was like, buy these. And like I said, I don't say that. I was like, you should buy these. And a lot of people were like, oh, liner's a liner. And I was like, no, these are different. Buy these. And there's quite a few of you out there who did take my advice. Thank you very much. And bought them. And that was the product that made you go, oh, yeah, she's like serious. If I don't like something, I'll just be like, this sucks. This is terrible. And there's a lot of products I say that about, but the Tom Ford liners are really unique. They're super soft. I don't know what they did because the Tom Ford never really had liners and they're super, super soft. Watch this. It just like glides on. It's like super, super soft. I don't know a way to explain it, but then they dry down. And they just sort of sit. Now, I have had some people they don't work for, but it's been a very, very small, like super, super small. It's like 98%, 99% people say it's a Holy Grail product. So again, nothing works for everybody, but it is a unique liner. And if I had nothing left and I had no liners ever, I would just buy the entire line of Tom Ford and be like, well, you know, those are going to be my liners for a while because I just don't have endless amounts of money where I can just buy everything. Blush. if I had to pick blush, it would be the Chanel, the old Chanel. But unfortunately, the old Chanel does not exist anymore. So we're going to go with what actually exists. And what exists are two products that I really like from Chanel. These are the liquid blushes. These are the #1 blushes. And, you know, these are really good if you like a cream blush. The other brand that I would recommend, if you're talking luxury, is Clé de Peau. They have amazing cream blushes, although lately they've been sold out of a lot of the shades, so I'm wondering if they're reformulating. I don't know. Or maybe coming out with like new packaging or something. It could be. But Clé de Peau or Chanel. But the Chanel ones are my favorite. They're relatively new, and they're fantastic. The other product from Chanel, the other blush, is the cream to powder blush. So this is a cream, and this is beige. It feels like a cream. It looks like a cream when you first put it on, and then it dries into a powder, kind of like, you know, a lot of the products I've been talking about lately. And there's a number of them that have like a bouncy material, a bouncy formula, or a gel-like formula, and then cream-like formula, and then it turns into a powder as it sits on your skin. There's some excellent ones from Merit. There's some excellent ones from Rare Beauty. But again, I don't consider those luxury. We're talking just luxury for the moment. These are the ones I would suggest. So if I'm going with blush, I'm going with Chanel. There are new ones, the Saint Laurents, are amazing. And I'm not gonna, you know, dissuade you from picking up the new Saint Laurent blushes. The problem with the Saint Laurent blushes, in my opinion, is that the lighter shades are not available in the United States. And for me, I need the lighter shades because I just don't wear a lot of deep blush. It still irritates me about Yves Saint Laurent, but we're not going to talk about that today. All right, so highlighter. Okay, now this one is totally cheating. This is the Chanel Camellia highlighter. My favorite highlighter of all time. It does not exist. You cannot buy this. However, if you're going to pick a highlighter, pick one from Chanel. Chanel makes a highlighter, a luminizer, like their new one, Halo, that just, I don't know what they do with their luminizing products that's so different, but there's something about them that has this elegance and just beautiful, like, luminescence, but doesn't look cakey or sparkly or accentuate pores, or it's always good. The new one, the luminizer by Chanel, which is the all over face luminizer, you can use that one as a highlight. That one is available, and I use it all over my face, but you could just use it underneath here and here, or you can put it over your foundation. Even though it's a liquid, you can certainly do that. You can take it and put it over foundation or over powder. It works. You just have to like tap it in. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than a Chanel luminizer, especially for more mature skin. It's just gonna look, it's gonna look so good. Anyway, okay, so we've got a majority of the makeup on, right? Now, it's gonna be eyes. Now, eyes is tough. Like, when I was trying to bring it down to be like, okay, Jen, you have to pick one, it's Clé de Peau. It was very close between Clé de Peau and Chanel, because there's a lot of Chanel eyeshadows that I really, really love. But the problem is, if you're talking newer Chanel, some of the Chanel is fantastic. The new Camellia Utopia palette, love that palette. Love that palette. But there's some Chanel palettes that I'm like, they're not as good as the old ones. That is not true for the Clé de Peau. The Clé de Peau, every single Clé de Peau eyeshadow palette that is currently available on the market is worth it. My opinion, again. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, it's super expensive. Trust me, guys, if you're my age or you have eyes that can be a little tricky because they're a little droopy or a little bit more mature or they're a little bit fussy, this is worth your money. I don't care what anyone says. I stick to that. So first of all, you put on the primer shade. I always use my fingers because I just have an easier time with that. I don't know if it's because I have small hands, and I do. I have very tiny hands. So I don't know if that's it. Like, maybe if you have like bigger hands, it doesn't work as well. Hey, I don't feel bad, because honestly, you're better off for like everything else. Like, I can't open jars half the time. But for the purposes of putting on eye makeup, maybe the smaller hands help. But I would just say, putting the cream shade that's here, the primer shade, and this one, it's like a peachy shade, you can put it all over your eye and just be done. Like that actually looks really nice, and you put on a little bit of liner mascara, you gotta look. But if you use a brush, you're gonna wanna use a synthetic brush, or you're gonna wanna use something like a Kolinsky brush or something that's a tough brush. Don't use something soft, don't use squirrel hair. It will not work. All right, so then you want, or you could use believe it or not, a sponge tip applicator will actually work really well. I mean, they're not my thing, but they do work. Okay, so then this is the green one, Seagrass. I think it's called Seagrass. And one of my favorites, because of course it's green. Why did I use green? It's St. Patrick's Day, guys. Come on, I gotta do it. I am gonna use some soft brushes for this because I actually don't want a very strong look today. I am going somewhere, and I want something pretty, but I want something that's gonna be light because I'm gonna have on all this, and I don't need to have my eyes be, you know, the center of attention necessarily. So what I would say about the Clé de Peau is, you know, besides being one of the best products to ever have been invented, the shadows will always work. They just do. And they stay on all day, especially if you use that primer shade. For me anyway, they do not separate. You know how you get that separation on your eyes at the end of the day? These don't do that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful look every single time, every single color story. I have like 8 of them, I think. I am gonna buy all of them eventually. And to be very blunt, if it wasn't for the fact that I no longer lobby and I no longer have that income, I would have bought them all already. But you know, I can't afford now to buy every single one of them. I have to be a little bit more, I mean, you should always be more reasonable in your purchasing, but yeah, I can't afford to buy them all at once. And I have 8. So, and I have a channel where I have tons of makeup that I review for all you guys. So it is not a good financial decision to buy all of them at once. But if I could, I would just buy all of them. They're that good. And trust me guys, I have a lot of makeup. If I didn't have the channel, I might just have like all Tom Ford liners, all the Clé de Peau eyeshadows, and then mix it up with like new releases here and there for, you know, like the Utopia palette from Chanel, blah, 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 you know, like new lipsticks, new blushes. But honestly, I'd be pretty happy, with just those things. I shouldn't say that because when new things come out, I'll be like, no, this is great. But no, honestly, I would. The eyeshadows are just so good. They're so good. And they're so, I mean, they're just, I know I'm waxing like, you know, but it's so nice, honestly, to find things that just work. It's so hard to do sometimes. Like in life, you're just like, wow, that just worked. And honestly, I will tell you, the older you get, the more that makes you happy because you're just, you know, you've experienced so many things that are just like let you down. When you find something that does exactly what it's supposed to do, when it's supposed to do it, it's the best thing ever. This brush is one of those things, but this is the Anissa brush. I'll make sure it's linked below. Okay, so I have a gorgeous look. I am going to use the best eyeliner to ever have been invented. Which one is that? This is the Chanel. Again, I know there are some people out there who don't think these are the best ones ever. In my opinion, you're wrong. These are the best ever. I'm kidding, of course, guys. You like what you like, but these are the ones I count on. These are the waterproof ones. They don't come off. They stay on my eye all day. They come in multitude of colors. And when they are released in a limited edition shade, I always buy at least one. And if it's a blue or green, I buy 2. I would tell you that, you know, if they come out with some limited edition ones in the coming year, they had some limited edition ones in the spring collection that I bought 2 of, I will absolutely buy, you know, 1 or 2 every single time. And I'm hoping they do some blue ones this year because, or green, I'd take either, because I always find that, you know, they are just the best. And people always tell me years later, they're like, do you remember that blue one or that green one, you know, that came out? And I'm like, yes, I have that one. There's still some ones I'm missing and I wish I had them, but I don't. So I'm going to do 2 things. I am going to set my eyebrows. Really all that is I have a product that just sort of pushes them up a little bit and keeps them in place because I have heavy eyebrows and so they fall down. And I'm going to curl my lashes and I'm going to put on, you know what I'm going to put on, the Sweet Beauty mascara. Okay, now we've got the Sweet Beauty mascara on. Look is done. I feel good. I actually don't feel well. I haven't felt well for the last 2 weeks, but I feel that I look good. And if you're old enough to understand the saying, to look good is to feel good, darling. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can look it up online. All right, so let's go to lips. So the best lip product is so difficult because it's so like specific. Do you like mattes? Do you like glosses? Do you like a shiny lip? Do you like a soft velvet lip? For me, if you've watched, you know, it's a glossy, balmy lip. And the best one, really, is Suku. There are many that are very, very close, and it's so hard to choose. So hard. The Rouge Coco Flashes are phenomenal. Dior's are phenomenal. There's so many that are just amazing. And if somebody asks me why, I think there's 2 reasons. One, it's the only one, the glossiness matches the opaqueness. So it's a glossy, balmy lip, but it also has quite a bit of pigment. And it kind of stains your lips a little bit and stays on much longer than practically any other glossy lip I have. Now, as you all know, I've talked about all the amazing glossy lips recently, and there's some new ones that I have fallen in love with. But the Suku ones are like a lipstick and a glossy balm all in one. And Suku's done this a couple of times. Like Hermes has ones that I love, the shiny ones. They're really good. I did the swatch comparisons, so you guys could see, and they're amazing, and many of them look the same. But there's something about the Suku, I don't know, that gives a lipstick look and a glossy look at the same time, but has a staying power that the others don't really have. The only drawback about Suku is it's like impossible to get in the United States. You can't go to a store and look at it. You have to order it, and that's difficult to do. I get it, because you don't know what the shades are. I understand. So, but, if you're willing to take a chance, if you're willing to take a chance on the shade, I really would encourage you to pick up a Suku. It's the glossy lip. The actual name is Glaze. The Glaze lipsticks. They really are. If you like a glossy lip, you'll be happy, I promise. Powder. This is the Prada powder in the green. And the reason I really like this one more than all of the other powders, and there's many, I like the Westman Atelier powders. There's some the pink one, the pink bubble, which is so good. There's the new Saint Laurent one, and Suku has some that I'm going to have soon. Probably not until summer. The release date has been pushed back. But, there's something about this green for me, because of the redness in my skin, that I feel just works for me. I feel it brightens my face and gets rid of the redness, and it just looks really, really good. And if they come out with a loose powder, I will buy it. And I think they're coming out with a cushion foundation, which I can't wait to try. In fact, everything I've tried by Prada has been absolutely excellent. And it could be in the future that, I add the eyeshadows and liners to my list of holy grails. I can't put them in the same category as the Clé de Pose, though, because for me, again, if you're talking about my eyes, the Clé de Pose is the one that just blows all the other ones out because of the formula, because what it can do, its lasting power, and its ability to just look good on anyone's, this is going to sound terrible, eyelid. Like, no matter how fussy your eyelid is, it's going to work for you, even if you just use that primer shade. I'm at a loss for words, which is saying a lot for me. Always finish with my mist. Ta-da! I do feel, that's the thing. I do feel very confident when I use all these products. I do feel like I look my best. And if I had to say, what perfume, it's probably the Chanel Comité perfume. That perfume is the one that I tend to default to when I don't know what else to wear. When I'm just because I have so many perfumes, I'll put up a picture of my perfume closet. I have so many perfumes that it's kind of like going to a store that has a million choices of, I don't know, just picking something. Salad dressing, there's 5 different types of balsamic vinaigrette and you just kind of get overwhelmed. I sometimes don't, like, I literally just look at everything and go, I don't know what I want to wear. I will default to the Comate because I just love that. Oh, Comet. Sorry. I keep forgetting it's Comet. I will default to the Comet. I just find it to be one of the best powdery, musky, beautiful perfumes that I can wear all the time. That always works for me. So that's what I default to. That's another one, by the way, where it is going to increase in price. I don't know if it'll be this year or early next year. I've heard this year, but I don't really know. But I get it. It's very expensive. So I'm not saying, run out and buy it, but it is going to go up in price. I just want to be honest and let you guys know that because I don't want you to be taken by surprise. So this is the final look and I'm very happy with it and I have to go out and do some things. But what I would tell you is that, no matter what your Holy Grails are, they're right for you because that's why you've determined them to be Holy Grail products because they work for you and they always work for you. And, if somebody else doesn't like them or it doesn't work for someone else, it doesn't matter. It only matters that it works for you. These are the products that I would say, like I said, that I would buy again, that I would replace everything with. If I would just had someone come to me and say, what do I buy to start a collection or restart a collection? These are the products. I feel like if not all of these work for everyone, I feel like there's at least something in here that's going to work for everyone. And I'll make sure the links are below. I do put in affiliate links. I really do appreciate everyone who buys from my affiliate links. It really does mean a lot when you guys buy from my links. One, of course, monetarily, it does support the channel, but it's more than that. It just shows that you trust me and that you believe in me. And that means a lot to me. I take that very seriously. So when I get comments like, I tried the Tom Ford liner and it really is the best liner. I mean, really, it really does mean a great deal. To me, the fact that somebody would take my advice to do something and spend their hard-earned money to go buy it, it's the highest compliment that I could possibly get. So I really do appreciate it. Yes, I'm getting a little emotional as I say that. It's just been that kind of month. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who does, purchase from my links. And you don't have to purchase from my links. The links can take you to the product and you can always, go and you'll know what it is and you don't have to use them, but I do appreciate when you do. Any questions, any comments, please put them down below. Like I said, I'm going to have some fun lives coming up with some other content creators that I'm coordinating as we speak. And the first member live is going to be, March 20th. At least I think it's March 20th. I'll have posts. The dates are just, but I am going to do giveaways for all my member lives. If I get up to 100 members, or once I get up to 100 members, I'm going to have a special giveaway, whenever that is, on a member live. And I am going to be giving away this purse. This is pre-loved. This is a Valentino, and I've had it, I don't know how long I've had this bag, but it's in really good condition because I've practically never used it. It's like a gray taupe shade. It's really nice. But I never use it. And I thought to myself, what a better way to thank all of you for signing up for memberships. It's really great that you guys want to do more interaction and everything. And I really do appreciate it. So once I get up to 100 members, I'll do that giveaway for that bag on one of the lives. But for the first one, because I doubt I'll be at 100 members by then, on the live, we can decide what I give away. Like I have a lot of deluxe samples and I have special discontinued items that you can look at and we can talk about it. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it and I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye!